What up, everybody? I'm your host, JP, and this is my co host, Josh.
Hey, everybody.
And welcome back to another episode of the Film Bros podcast. All right, Josh. So, a lot of scandals, a lot of things to talk about today. One thing that I want to talk to you about that I'm pretty sure either you've seen it going around the internet or it completely flew over your head, but there's been rumors, there's been speculation, there's been so many things coming out of the woodwork, and it all started because a comedian decided to talk about a gig. All right, a comedian came out there. I forgot who the comedian was. I think her name was Asaya Roth or something like that. She was on Reddit. She came out and basically told the story on stage, and the story, a lot of people associate this story to, and you know, she was really cool with covering the name. She called it Banana and Locke, but a lot of people put two and two together and knew that she was talking about Key Peele and Jordan Peele.
Right.
That was a duo back in 2015. Back in the 2010s, you could never see apart. Okay, up until 2015. Up until 2015, when their show ended, they basically split apart and they went their separate ways. Actually, that's not true. I think in 2016 we did get a movie. It was called Keanu, or it was about a cat.
Yeah.
Right. It was about a cat. They even did like Toy Story together. They did a job together, and a lot of people were like, okay, that's a little satisfaction right there, right? They still are working together. They're not really separating 100%. But then the 2020 came, right? The 2018, 2019, the 2020s. And we've never seen them together ever again. Here we are in 2026. You know, a lot of this is the big thing, right? This is the big thing. They said Key Peele is so big, right? That he's a director. He makes his own movies. That he could easily put Jordan Peele in a movie if he wanted to. So much so, like it doesn't have to be a full on role. It could be a cameo. It could be something small. You know what I mean? Like if that was your brother, that you guys been doing this for a long time, why haven't you put him in more movies? Right.
Right.
This is a big thing. I don't know if you've noticed this. I don't know if you've seen that Jordan Peele and Keegan Peele or Key Peele have not been together, basically. Like you've not seen them together in a while.
No, I mean, yeah, I noticed that. I think the last time they did, I remember them doing something was what, Toy Story? Toy Story 4?
I want to say it was Toy Story
3.
4. I think it was
No,
it was
4.
4.
Yeah,
It was
4.
4 with the Bears, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was it. I think that was the last time I remember them being like together.
And that was in 2018, 2017, something like that, right? So it's like, it's been close to 10 years, damn near. So like, why haven't they worked together? Well, there's some theories out there. I'm gonna let you listen to this TikToker. She kind of breaks down the whole situation. They even address the whole maybe Get Out is about this whole situation that caused them to rift apart. Well, let's listen to it because it's actually an interesting story.
Get Out secretly about the director's best friend's wife? Because don't forget, you guys, Get Out was created by Jordan Peele of Key and Peele, and his best friend at the time was Keegan-Michael Key. And according to comedian Akilah Hughes, who was working with Keegan on developing a sketch comedy show, that just might be the case, y'all. She says that Keegan-Michael Key's wife is ruining his career. And apparently she's not the only person who feels that way. In fact, Jordan's wife also allegedly feels the same way. And for context, this is a photo of Keegan-Michael Key and his wife. So according to Akilah, she and Keegan-Michael Key were developing a sketch comedy show that went down the drain as soon as his wife got involved. Somehow, unbeknownst to Akilah, she wound up joining the team as executive producer, and she just gave the worst notes and tried to take everything over, threatened to sue the network, which was a Disney channel, and the list goes on. In fact, apparently Disney had to pay off Keegan and his wife to get rid of them from this project, but more on that later. Apparently, comedian Chelsea Peretti is a real one because when she heard that Akilah was working on a show with with Keegan, she was like, oh, I just know that wife of his is going to be involved. So she called up Akilah and told her, listen, be careful. His wife is something like Phil Hartman's wife. And y'all, I have to admit, I don't know anything about Phil Hartman's wife. So I went on the internet to look her up. And lo and behold, that's a woman who wound up shooting him and killing him. That's strong. I'm actually quite surprised that Akilah could say this about Chelsea Peretti, like, you know, kind of like snitch on her so publicly. I guess Chelsea doesn't give a crap. And so that's why Akilah put the tea out there, but it is intense. So I guess this really does mean that the Key and Peele friendship and working relationship is over donezo, which really sucks for us fans, right? Anyway, like I said earlier, according to Akilah, like, because of Keegan's wife, like, Disney had to pay him and his wife off just to get away from this project. And they said, okay, Akilah, we still want to do your sketch show, but we need for you to rewrite it because we can't have anything that was associated with Keegan and his wife, obviously, because they'll come back and sue us, right, for intellectual property. So she said, all right, bet. So she and her team started working on a new script, but unfortunately, this was around the time that massive writer strike was going on. And so that wound up like just ruining everything.
Okay. So you kind of got the gist. Jordan Peele's wife, Peretti, which you've seen her, she's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, was trying to warn Key that, hey, if you're going to be, you know, not Key, but the comedian, that if you're going to work with Key, you got to understand that there's going to be coming some hardships with it. Turns out Key's wife is a big problem, that she likes to be in the middle of everything. Speculation says that, hey, you know, when they were trying to make a project together, that she dabbled again, and when Jordan tried to tell her to stop or try to make them stop, they couldn't. And instead of ruining their friendship or whatever, they decided their working relationship was over.
Well, damn. I mean, if that's the case, then we're never going to see them like work together or anything. That sucks. But damn, yeah, no, I would have never guessed that the movie would be about his wife.
I mean, white family, controlling the black man, changing the black man into a white man.
We know that now, but I didn't know what his wife looked like before.
No, I didn't know that either. So like the fact that you know, so I mean, would that make a working relationship stop if you kind of dissed me in your movie? Would that make a friendship stop because you dissed me in your movie?
Kind of. I mean, at the same, not only is he kind of at that point kind of the inspiration for the movie, but you're also saying, hey, your wife is out to get you and ruin your career. You should get out.
It's pretty strong. It's pretty strong.
It is pretty strong.
But
he came up with it. I'm just putting it together.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, a comedian's wife, Jordan's wife, basically coming out and saying that your wife is the equivalent of somebody who basically murdered her husband. You know what I mean? That apparently that lady has cost that man so much money, according to the comedian as well, that she has cost him so much money just on the fact that she tells him no to this, no to that, and yada, yada, blah, blah. So, I mean, Key still gets work, though, right? We still see him. One of the jokes that the comedian did say on the whole skit when I watched it was that he still... She blurted out the word or the names, but that he still plays in commercials where he has to play the insurance agent guy, and everybody else gets to play themselves. And I was like, damn, because literally during the Super Bowl, he was playing Jake from State Farm.
Right. So he doesn't really. He's really not that guy. He'll probably fade into obscurity at any of these years.
Isn't it sad when the other half kind of rises and you're kind of left in the dumps?
Yeah.
The way that they kind of worded the when they were pitching to the comedian, the way that she said that it was she said that we could start a comedy show with the less successful half of Key and Peele.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
But I guess that's true. I mean, even if that's the case, how funny could it be if he's the lesser half? You know what I mean? Like, they bounce off each other well enough to where one was playing the fool and one was always playing like the smart one or whatever.
I always felt like Jordan had like this sophisticated comedy towards him, where Key was always like this little kid comedy, where like he would do voices.
Stuff. It'll be funny.
Yeah, It'd be like, Scary Movie funny where like Jordan would do like some dry funny where it would be like, little things here and there. Like he could still jump into Key's domain, but he would stick in his own for the most part. And Key would always just be like that goofy guy that would be like the punching bag for the most part. So,
right.
unfortunately, it was set up that way. It's another unfortunate circumstance that your tea's kind of being spilt by a comedian that didn't get their show off because your wife stopped it.
You ruined it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Are we hoping to see them in a project at some point? I mean, do you want to see them reunite?
I don't think so. I think it's always probably like a one-off, maybe like another Toy Story thing in a couple of years where they just voice act together and you're satisfied with that. But I don't think they'll ever step back into those shoes again.
Like an actual full
clearly one
movie?
is clearly someone is
in the stratosphere and one's still in the hemisphere.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see them work again. It'd be cool to, it'll be like a cool little reunion moment. Do I think that we're gonna get that anytime soon? Probably not.
No.
They always say not to mix. What is it? Where don't stick your pen where you dip your ink. Or something like that, right? Or like don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that was right. I don't really know.
Yeah, something about company pen dipping in the company ink or something like that. Yeah, you don't do that stuff. You kind of just keep pushing. I do think that they should get back together though. I think like a movie with them two together and they announce it, not like a Keanu movie. Like don't do a Keanu movie. Like we got to actually do like a funny movie. Like maybe like a full length Key and Peele movie. Like them just coming back.
I don't know. That doesn't even sound too appealing.
I see what you did there. Peeling. Okay, all right. We're moving on after that lame ass pun. Okay, because we're gonna move on. Let us know what you guys think. Jordan and Keegan Peele are just apparently not seeing eye to eye. They've been on different paths for quite some time. Obviously, as everybody has kind of noticed in the world. They've been good about keeping it a little on the DL, though. I have not noticed that it's been like 10 years since the last project they basically did together. So, I mean, they've been kind of hiding it pretty well. They sprinkled themselves. But I do think the last time we saw them was in Toy Story, and they kind of need to fix that. So we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. Moving on, Josh, Melissa Barrera is going scorched earth on motherfuckers, okay? So apparently she is creating her own production company, right? And Melissa Barrera, everybody remembers, she was unceremoniously kicked off of the newest Scream movie that was recently released, the Scream 7 film. She was let go of. Jenna Ortega was also she chose not to return. A few cast decided not to return after Melissa Barrera's firing. Everybody knows that she decided to speak out about the whole Palestinian thing, and that's what basically caused her to lose every single job that she basically did, except for a couple of films that actually came out and that were pretty successful. So successful that apparently she was able to start making her own production company. She even came out to say during an interview that apparently she believes that Scream 7 inflated the numbers, that they're lying about it, and that the only way that they were able to get anybody to see the movie was nostalgia bait as much as possible, says Melissa Barrera. She also goes on to say that there were people basically crossing the picket fence line. 100%, I think they all are, and they have to live with that. And, she's talking about Neve. She's talking about Courtney Cox. She's talking about the other two twins that decided to come back. And when she says they crossed the picket fences because she got fired from the movie, and I want to say like less than a month later they were kind of scooped up for Scream 7. Am I right? Like they were,
right.
We lost the director, and right after the director came in Neve Campbell and all them, and the script was different. We even talked about Neve at one point was trying to come back for Scream 6, but they said no, we're not going to pay you that much money because you're just asking for too much. And then they just turned around and gave it right to her. So, I mean, what do you think about Melissa Barrera coming out and just firing shots at the whole crew at this point.
I think that's great. I think we're finally seeing something. I thought this would happen a little sooner, but now that she's in the presses and trying to get her own production company, kind of cool. That movie was ass. I know you didn't see it, but
Not yet, but I
Scream
will.
7 was terrible.
I will.
It wasn't good.
My thing is
You
that
got,
my thing is that okay, and I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt and saying okay, Melissa Barrera stood up for what she wanted, and then they basically replaced her and went a different direction, right? I could kind of say she did the same thing though, right? Like they wanted Neve back for Scream 7 or Scream 6. That Neve said, "Well, I'm not gonna go back with less money. I should be able to have more money, right?" And what they do, they kicked her out, and Melissa Barrera came in back, and they basically get building now. Was Scream 6 already in motion with because of Scream 5? Yes, I already agree, but Neve was asking for more money. I didn't hear Melissa Barrera come out and be like, you know what, this is Neve's franchise. She deserves the money. We need her to we need her to get the money so she can come in. So that didn't happen either.
no, no, that's completely no. That's not the same thing. She's not the star anymore. I'm sorry. Even as a business person, even if I'm the dude in Paramount that controls the money, I'm
Uh,
gonna be like, "Well, you're not the star. You're not
mm-hmm.
the star. You and this the friend. Yes, it's your franchise, but you're not the star anymore.
If I'm not
If
the
you don't
star, why
want
are
to
you
come
asking me to
back,
come back?
because she's. I mean, I'm not saying she's not the star,
Like she's not the final girl, but that's
right?
like saying that's like um shit. What's up? Fucking that's like Paul Walker being in every single Fast and the Furious movie, and he does it for the same pay every single time. And he doesn't ask for any more, nothing like that. It's like, well, why wouldn't he get paid more? That is that
He
not his
would
friend?
get paid
Or
more.
let's not say him because he's the lead guy. Let's say Tyrese. Let's say Tyrese. He's in the background. He's been in a couple movies. He's been in and out or whatever. That's still considered like his franchise. Why why would he come back and not take a little bit more money for coming back?
The
And
point
maybe
is, you're
Neve,
supposed.
like I said, maybe Neves was maybe out of control. Maybe it was a little bit too much because what is it? What's that saying? You have to aim high and then meet somewhere in the middle while they're aiming low, kind of thing, right? So it's like if Melissa Barrera would have stood up for her in that moment and at least put something out or whatever, I would have totally seen this as like, yeah, Neve is kind of backstabbing. But Melissa Barrera got her paper, and then when the paper stopped, now all of a sudden she wants to speak out and call people quote unquote scabs. I don't know.
They took her, dude. I'm sorry, no. They
She
took her
took Neve
work.
Campbell's money too, like a couple years
She
ago.
was.
And I'm not like I
She's the
said,
star.
two different things because one is losing out on a role because of your words, and then one is because you're asking for too much money. So I can obviously see the difference there. But I would have assumed Melissa Barrera would have at least advocated and been like, you know what, Neve should come back. It is her role. I mean, if you guys can't pay her that much, pay her a different amount or something. You know what I mean? Like, it would have went a long way
No,
if she would have showed a little bit more tenacity for somebody else. But she's over
the
here like, oh, it should have been
franchise,
for me. But when did you do anything for anybody else?
the franchise at that point outgrew Neve, dude. Yes, it was cool to see her, but five and what legacy sequels do, they introduce them, they kill them off. That's what happened with Dewey.
But not Neve, not Courtney.
But they could have. That's the point.
Even Courtney came back for Scream 6.
She needs work. Have you seen her in anything else?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's like she even took like, I mean that could kind of go in the counter argument where like Courtney Cox even took like a pay cut to be in this movie, but like Neve couldn't or whatever. But like that's what I'm saying. Like I think my bottom line, because it's obviously not a one for one, is that if Melissa Barrera would have stood up for Neve Campbell when it came down to the money thing, regardless if she would have gotten it, I would have stood with her a little bit now. But she never. I don't think she ever came out to be like, well, Neve kind of deserves this money. She's been in this role since what, the '90s.
No, man. No. I disagree. We're just gonna have to agree to disagree. I
Calling
don't
him a
agree with
scab
that.
is pretty intense, I think. Coming out to say
Calling
that
them
they
a
that they
scab.
inflated the numbers is kind of intense.
I would say that's kind of intense. I don't know. I mean, as someone who did go see it, I would say my theater was kind of packed. So
I
I
think
don't
a lot
know.
of people were excited for this one, but obviously there was some disappointment because I think maybe some people were expecting a Melissa Barrera return. Maybe they were expecting Jenna Ortega at one point, but because maybe they're not ear to the streets, they didn't know that was happening. They went to watch it and they walked out like Matthew Lillard. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like what, like how does that even happen? I don't know the number if the numbers are true or not. I don't know if I want to discuss that or be like, there's some finagling happening in Paramount. Let's just try to say that the numbers are real and Melissa Barrera is just talking shit because she's upset. I will say at the end of all this, you can't call people scabs and you fucking do the same thing, unfortunately. It's not one
He's
for
not
one
a
like I said,
scab.
but you did not stand up for Neve. You didn't stand up for Neve at the time. And now you
You don't
want
need
Neve,
to.
but she
She's not
wants
the
Neve to stand up to
star.
her. Stand up for her.
She's not
Nobody
the
owes anybody
star.
in this
She's not the
business.
star. She's not
Nobody
the
owes
star. No
anybody in
one.
this
You're right.
business.
No one owes anybody in this business, and it is a, unfortunately, dog eat dog world.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you're not the star. You're not getting the same amount of cut. It's the same thing. What happened with what's his name in Iron Man? You're not getting the same amount of money for that.
That's different. Iron
She
Man
she
was
went
that was
from
his first
main
movie
to
out of
supporting.
rehab. That's different. That's
It's the
different.
She went from main character to supporting character. Your pay is obviously gonna take
And
a
then back to
hit.
main character. Because guess who decided to fire their lead?
Paramount, and they were actively wrong
So
for that.
who
Seven sucked.
so I mean in a way she did kind of scab it because it's like, okay, well now there's an open slot. You need me now, right? And she went for it.
Yeah, she crawling to Paramount, and then Paramount finally being like, "All right, fine, we'll pay you lead numbers." And it's like, you had to fire somebody over freedom of
Not
speech.
just somebody. You lost the
Your
whole
star.
you lost your star, you lost the secondary star that was already in the stratosphere because of Wednesday. And then you lost the fucking director, the Radio Silence who's been fucking paving the way for horror in the 2020s.
Exactly.
So it's like, come
So
on.
seven doesn't compare, and if I think Melissa is all in the right to kind of diss on him a little bit.
I don't think she's in the right to diss. I feel like make your production company win in silence, but like for you to come out and say all these things, when have you done anything for anybody else but Era? That's what I'm saying. Like you just have not. So I have to wait and see when it comes to that. Right? Let us know what you guys think. Melissa Barrera is coming at the throats of the Scream 7 cast. Will they return for a Scream 8? We'll have to wait and see. If the numbers are inflated, I guess Melissa Barrera does get the last laugh. And, he who laughs first laughs last.
Yeah,
I don't know
okay.
if that's the same, but we're going to move on after that one. Josh, we've talked about this. This is a big one. And apparently it seems to be inching closer and closer and closer. I don't know if this is true, but we're going to look at the facts to determine whether it is or it's not. Rumors are spreading that Disney is looking to remove the Star Wars sequel trilogy from its timeline in order to focus on the OG characters once again. Now, there's a little bit of back and forth when it comes to this. Obviously, we're going to hear your little back and forth when it comes to, Disney potentially removing the sequel trilogy. But let's just finish this here. A source close to Lucasfilm claims internal discussions are underway to branch off, quote unquote, branch off the Star Wars sequel trilogy to effectively remove it from the primary continuity and allow future storytelling to pivot back towards legacy characters for original films. So they want to pivot, they want to branch off. Okay, I will hear your defense, Josh. Let's hear this side first. What do we think
Oh
about
my
Disney
goodness, dude.
removing the Star Wars sequel trilogy from the timeline, potentially in order to focus on OG characters?
It's not gonna happen, man. They're billion-dollar films. Why would they do that? Everything they've made so far has been addressing and fixing like Palpatine's return and stuff. And it's not gonna happen. That's it. The story itself stacks against this.
I think it started that way, and then by season 3 it stopped of The Mandalorian, and then we kind of pivoted to different things. I don't think we've addressed that whole Palpatine thing ever again. And I mean, how many years are we going to continue to do that? But after the season 3 of Mando, which I believe Mando was like the closest thing tied. I mean, you had a little bit of the Bad Batch kind of touch up on it a little bit too, but for the most part, it's been nothing there, right?
I would say it's fixed. I would say they obviously not every project can address it, but I would say from what we got, it's pretty cut and dry how he got back.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. And I think Disney has this issue because they're kind of seeing the numbers when it comes to everything. We're going to look at the evidence on how they could possibly do this and why they would possibly do this. First things first, May the 4th just passed, Star Wars Day. Yay! I hope everybody had a good time. And they revealed some crazy numbers for that, right? So on Star Wars Day, a good chunk of viewing happened from Star Wars media for Star Wars Day. So I'm happy that a lot of people enjoy that and they actually fucking, go for Star Wars Day. So good on you guys. But yeah, so apparently millennials ages 30 to 45 were really watching Andor on Star Wars Day, while Gen X ages 46 to 61 were more into The Mandalorian. And Gen Alpha and Boomers apparently like the Clone Wars, the animated series. That's basically what everybody liked. Tales of the Underworld were also on the list at number 9. Some of the films did make it. Two of the main films that people were watching was The Phantom Menace and A New Hope. Also, Empire Strikes Back, Attack of the Clones, Return of the Jedi, Rogue One. The only films that were not streamed on Star Wars Day were the sequel trilogy films. Those are the only ones that were not streamed on Star Wars Day. If they were, very minimal to the point where they couldn't even report it. Everybody watched Andor. People watched Rogue One. People loved The Phantom Menace. I'm pretty sure people were watching that because they wanted to, catch up on Maul or something like that. Everybody was watching everything. Even the Clone Wars. People were watching the Clone Wars. But nobody wanted to watch the sequel trilogy on Star Wars Day. Let's talk about that.
People can watch whatever they want. People can watch whatever they want. You're right.
Yeah,
the numbers don't lie.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the numbers don't lie. Nobody watched the sequel trilogy. Yes, people could watch whatever they want, but I'm telling you, nobody watched the sequel trilogy on Star Wars Day. Not even my film bro over here, right? I don't think you watched it.
I was watching Visions.
But you didn't watch the sequels.
No, because I was watching Visions. We had a plan.
We did have a plan, but on Star Wars Day, at the end of the night, you could have, put on Rise of the Skywalker and really boosted these numbers. But you didn't. Nobody did. Not me, not you. I watched Star Wars things on Star Wars Day. I watched the Clone Wars. I watched them all, and I was watching Visions, and then we finished Solo because we had started Solo and we finished Solo.
Right. I'm not saying people have to watch them over and over.
No.
On Star Wars Day, you can watch whatever you want. I told you that it was a problem on the internet, people shitting on the sequels more than showing love. In general, it's about loving Star Wars as a whole.
But what I'm telling you is that the internet's not just talking shit about it. Nobody watches the movies. That's what I'm telling you. If it was just talking shit, the Rise of Skywalker would have been number 2 on the Nielsen charts. Then I would have been like, okay, well, people are watching it. But I'm telling you, nobody's watching it. And if Disney has this rumor that they're going to remove the Star Wars sequel trilogy, could the numbers be a reason why they're kind of supporting that? That, hey, nobody's watching this sequel trilogy. People will go back to the prequels. People will go back to the OGs. But people will even go watch the shows. Mandalorian, all that stuff. But nobody's coming back to the sequel trilogy. Why?
I don't know. I don't know why not. I don't know.
Because
I'm only saying
nobody liked Rey. Okay, nobody liked Rey. Nobody liked the build up. Nobody liked any of that stuff. The ending was hot garbage. Somehow Palpatine Return was dumb. They did it in Fortnite. Look, I could go on a list. We're not here to bash Star Wars. We're just here to kind of talk about why they might be removing the sequel trilogy and possibly.
But they're not.
How could they be doing that? But I'm telling you, a reason why is because of the numbers. Is there another reason why they would not? That would
Their
refute the
numbers
numbers not even reflecting anybody showing a remote interest in this sequel trilogy?
in this time, probably not. What do you call it? That's fine. Disney Plus numbers for a single day don't reflect overall. That I don't understand. Like how? Yes, this one thing for
Mm.
the one day, people weren't watching it. Who's to say they aren't watching it the day after? Who's to say they're not doing it this and that?
No, yeah.
Star Wars Day was on a Monday. You can't watch shit on a Monday. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't agree. They got the money. They got billions from the last three movies.
Mm-hmm.
Billions. Everything they put out, every show you mentioned addresses the clone stuff, the shit that they were doing to build Palpatine and his return. I don't know. I don't think so. I would think Disney pivoting this hard would be kind of stupid of them.
Mm-hmm. And I understand your point where it's like, yeah, they could watch it the next day, they could watch it this day, but the point was is that if it's Star Wars Day and people are watching it on Star Wars Day, and let's just say they couple that because people do like Revenge of the Fifth or Revenge of the Sixth or something like that, right? So people watch Star Wars Day for a couple of days. They watch Star Wars movies for a couple of days. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. If Star Wars Day is such a huge thing and everybody knows that May 4th is like a Star Wars celebration type deal, and people actively pop on a movie for that day, because let's just say they don't watch Star Wars all year round, just on Star Wars Day, because they're like, it's Star Wars Day, we got to watch Star Wars. That's the day where everything's gonna hit the most. It's kind of like Christmas. When do you think Christmas movies are gonna play the most? Around Christmas time.
All around December.
That's what I'm saying.
Star Wars is this for a day.
That's the point of that's the gist that I'm trying to get to you. So like, if what do you call it? If on Star Wars Day people know it's coming up, it's gonna be Star Wars Day. We're gonna watch Star Wars. This is the most impact that they get on Star Wars product. And the numbers say, hey, we watch everything and everything is cool up until the sequel trilogy. That got to be a problem. That got to be a problem. That got to be an erasable offense, in my opinion.
It's not. Not when the franchise those exact shows.
You can't keep treating this sequel trilogy like the redheaded step cousin. You got to set it free. Okay, you got to set it free. You got to unleash it from its bonds and set it free.
They're not gonna do that.
They're Elseworld stories now.
No, they spent everything they had on these movies. They're not gonna just up and leave them. All they can do is continue to make more and build upon what they put out.
Mm-hmm. So, is there any more like in your defense on why they wouldn't do it? Besides, people could watch it on any other day but Star Wars Day.
What do you mean? I'm telling you, they got the money already. They billion
dollar franchise. Okay, it's made billions of dollars, every single one, basically, right? All three of them.
Every show, Mando, Bad Batch, everything they've put out since then has mentioned this whole stuff. Why would they just backtrack all that? Who is that for then? Okay, fine. They remove the sequels, then they remove Bad Batch, they remove Mando. They remove all the things addressing this stuff, and then boom.
No, because I mean they could keep the cloning stuff because the cloning can work on a ground floor level. They can make it seem like they were trying to attempt to bring them back. I don't know. I don't know how they would fix it.
You still have to show how to do that. Battlefront 2 shows that also. I don't know. This doesn't make sense. I think anyone advocating for this is ridiculous.
Okay. And so how could they do it? Possibly is the question. Well, we were introduced to the world between worlds, right? That was one way that they could possibly change and remove it as well. My thing is that if we're focusing on the original characters, I mean, are we getting a recasting of the OG characters? Are we going to see a recasted Han Solo? Are we going to see a recasted Leia? Are we going to see a recasted Luke? To basically give us, let's say, a sequel trilogy worthy of the Star Wars timeline?
I don't think. No, I don't. Why would Oh yes, let's redo everything and follow these characters, but now we can't even follow them because people bash any new iteration or characterization of any character. That's the sensitivity part about the Star Wars fandom. You get Star Wars geeks I mean, I haven't seen him in a minute, probably because he blocked me on X or whatever. But that one YouTuber that goes around and cycles the same talking points when Star Wars comes out. The Star Wars theory, right?
The theory
Star Wars theory, yeah. When he's you'll get people like that when new stuff drops or when new iterations drop and they try to recast or they do CGI Luke or whatever. People don't want to see young Luke anymore unless it's Mark Hamill. The only problem is Mark Hamill's old as shit. Rest in peace, Leia, but she's passed away.
I think a lot of people
Harrison
are kind
Ford
of
is
used
90
to the.
years old.
I think a lot of people are used to either the CGI, a young one. We obviously have like Leia's daughter, or actual like Leia's daughter, like real life. Like she was in Obi-Wan Kenobi at one point, right? So I mean, she could most of that, like they could do other things where like they CGI or they could bring back like a younger version of them. Which you're right, people can hit and miss. I mean, people were hating on Solo. I don't know if that was a backlash because of Rise of the Skywalker or what is it, Last Jedi. But still, that was kind of like we should have kind of went down that path. I don't know how they could go back and be like, okay, well now the OG characters are just magically alive after everybody was traumatized. I mean, we got to be honest. A lot of people hated the fact that the OG characters basically bit the dust. What is in The Force Awakens when Han Solo lost to Ben Solo? Like that was like my theater gasped. And I didn't mind that one. I was like, okay, that's cool. But then the next movie, unfortunately, Leia wound up basically almost dying too. And I was like, oh shit. So we're just killing off the original cast. And that's what kind of like, I'm pretty sure that's what kind of tipped the scales for a lot of people. And then obviously by the end of The Last Jedi, there was no more Mark Hamill either. So it's like, well, damn. You know what I'm saying? So we basically ran through the OG characters before we even got to the finale.
Yeah.
The only one that made it was what? Chewbacca?
Chewbacca? Lando?
Lando? We just seen him come back for one movie.
Yeah. They live on as Force ghosts and all that stuff, man. It's okay.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that like that's where the point of contingency basically came in, right? It was like when Han Solo first bit the dust, and then when two main characters basically bit the dust in the same movie as well. It's like, what do we do?
It happens. Characters die. It happens. You can't just go back to them. Their time has passed. It's not gonna. You're not gonna be able to rehash that stuff again. And if it is, it's not gonna be with the same people that they keep trying to recycle. They're gonna have to pass it on and recast at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine being that actor, and then they're like, "Oh well, to avoid backlash, we're gonna CGI. You're gonna be the stand-in. We're gonna CGI Mark Hamill's face on you." In which case, fuck that. They don't know that I'm doing it. Fuck no.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like the ways of how they could possibly erase it, right? Now let's go to the business side, and we're gonna hit this business side real quick, and then we'll probably move on from here. But Kathleen Kennedy's out, and who's the one that basically started this whole trilogy? Kathleen Kennedy. She was the one who started that, The Mandalorian, all that stuff. She's gone now. Dave Filoni is now in charge. The question in my head remains, did he agree with the plans that she had in motion back in 2016 to the point where, and obviously where we got to now? I want to say no, because Mandalorian is his baby, and that's the thing that basically did amazing. It did not start derailing until Kathleen Kennedy came in and was like, hey, we need you to put Baby Yoda back in the Book of Boba Fett. So, my thinking, stay with me, since Kathleen Kennedy is out, Dave Filoni's in, he has every which way to basically fix the sequel trilogy if he wanted to. But if he opts to erase it from the timeline altogether and make what he deems have been the original trilogy to Lucas's Star Wars, would we be okay with that?
I mean, I know, because I still don't think that'll happen.
No. It's not about thinking it will happen. I'm asking you a hypothetical. Because, I mean, Dave Filoni could more than likely be like, well, I like Kathleen Kennedy's vision, and I love these movies, and I think we're going to keep them, and we're just going to work around them until they get better, and that's basically what's going to happen. Or he could be like, I totally did not like it. I was totally not in a position of power to stop her at the moment, and now I'm in a position of power to fix it now.
Nah, man, I don't know. I think
Would you at that point, would you say in Filoni we trust, or would you be like, well, Filoni is actively going against my wishes?
I would say if he retcons anything like that, it's actively going against the wishes because you retcon the small stuff, stuff that happens in books don't play out the way it happens in movies or TV shows and all that stuff, and then you can always fix that kind of thing. To remove full on storytelling devices that you can actually build upon and fix feels reckless. It feels dumb. I couldn't see him doing that.
I don't know. What if he wasn't a fan of Ray?
If he's not a fan of Raid, it's too late. Build upon it. Make her, fix her how you want her. Make her better. That's it.
But that's what I'm saying though. Is like, what if he wasn't a fan of her? What if he doesn't want to fix it? That's what I'm telling you. That's
Then he can keep.
You're
He
telling
can keep
us
playing
a
with the
solution.
same toys he wants to.
What I'm telling you is that Filoni has two options. Either he sticks to what Kathleen Kennedy did because that's where basically the road is, or he changes it because he deems that this is not the way that he wanted to do it. And like I said, at the moment, he probably didn't have power to stop it, but now he does, and now he could fix it. Would you ride with Filoni if he fixes it in the way that he wants to? And if that means crossing out the sequel trilogy, would you be willing to ride with that?
No.
Okay.
If he doesn't want to fix it, like I said, if he doesn't fix it, then he wants to keep playing the same toys, he wants to keep playing in the same sandbox, then he can. He's completely fine with that. I don't mind the Clone Wars. I imagine we're supposed to be past the Clone Wars at this point.
Oh, okay. All
If
right.
he wants to
Now
keep
you're gonna
diving
do
into
me a
that
little
stuff,
subtle diss talking about, oh, we haven't moved out of the Clone Wars area. Oh, whoop-dee-dee. It's probably the best era in the world, I gotta tell you.
right? But we have a whole lot of era and undiscovered galaxy in the back end. It's
Yeah.
just people are now too scared to address it. And then no, give it to someone who will address it if that's the case. What do you mean?
Well, that's what I'm in my head. What if it's something that can be addressed? Because this is gonna be my final nail on the business side here. We had a Rey Skywalker movie that's been announced since Kathleen Kennedy basically was still running Lucasfilm. It's gonna come out. Obey Chinoy, she was the director. We talked about her. She did the documentaries and whatnot. She was supposed to bring back Rey into Star Wars, and Daisy Ridley was coming out saying that we're gonna do this and blah 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 blah. Kathleen's been out for about a month now. I've not heard of people. Not one peep about that Daisy Ridley movie. Not one peep about any of the plans that Kathleen Kennedy had before. The only ones that basically made it through the shuffle, which obviously Mandalorian Grogu and Starfighter, those are the two that were already in production she was able to pump out. But that Rey Skywalker movie has been on ice since they basically talked about it. Apparently they had a script, they gave it away, they had different writers for it. And here we are now with rumors that Disney's going to just wipe it away altogether. Kind of
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
Happen.
I mean, yeah, they could totally not do the movie. But like I said, again, that would just make them kind of scared to move. There's a lot more factors in it. I mean, obviously, how are people going to react to a new Star Wars film? I don't even think Mando and Grogu is going to do too good. And then that'll just scare them again.
Mm, yeah, but and that has to be another thing where I'm like, Kathleen Kennedy made a bad call because you could have done the Mando and Grogu movie on the streaming service and did like a big movie for the actual theaters, and it would probably play different. But that's gonna these. I think that one's gonna be the last one from Kathleen Kennedy's era that's gonna basically flop, and then we're gonna move forward from that. So it's unfortunate.
Basically.
But I don't know. I guess at the end of this, because I got to be on the side of what's right for Star Wars. I gotta say, removing the sequel trilogy might be the best play.
Oh my goodness.
And I understand your side, and that's why I wanted to have the back and forth before we get to this point. But the numbers don't lie, the people don't lie. Whereas like the sequel trilogy always had like a little bit of people, come back to revisit it and be like, oh, this is a gem, and people would go back and talk shit or whatever, blah blah blah. It seems like the sequel trilogy just doesn't have any of that fire in it at all. There's no coming back and being like, oh, this actually happened because of this, or this changed this or whatever. I think something that the sequel trilogy did, or the prequel trilogy had, was that CGI was new, and a lot of people are willing to dismiss that, even with some of the writing and blah 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 blah. People would say like the Disney Star Wars, like the writing was bad and everything like that, but people cannot seem to overlook that, and even to the point where they just refuse to even want to talk about it. The only time I see this kind of discourse is when they put in the last scene where Rey basically buries the sword, and then it's over. Nobody gives a shit about Kylo Ren anymore, which I thought he was going to be like one of the powerful Sith Lords by the end of this trilogy, and we're going to see him probably do something crazy or whatever. Like there was so much stuff that I think could have happened, but it's just been so quiet. It's been so silent. There's nothing that even remotely associates. I mean, you could say the Mandalorian stuff is fixing the sequel trilogy or whatever, but nobody actively says Rey Skywalker. Nobody actively says, Palpatine or anything like that. Nobody actively says anything about the sequel trilogy. Poe Dameron doesn't make it an appearance. Nothing in the sequel trilogy comes to light for anybody to be like, yeah, I want to see that, or I want that to continue. And that's why I think the sequel trilogy just needs to go, because I mean, there's it's just dead space in the Star Wars universe, which kind of sucks.
Nah, man. You want what's best for Star Wars, but you're willing to retcon full-blown storytelling stuff that they could really
I wouldn't
continue
even
to
stop
develop.
there. I would say Book of Boba Fett too. Retcon that one. I would
Can't
also
just retcon. But the Book of Boba Fett, it's bad. But that's the thing. Bad stuff doesn't get second seasons or anything like that. You got a full-blown trilogy right here that they could totally rewrite and redo for another film. I'm not saying they have to go back and do any of this. They don't have to rehash anything. They could pick up Rey, kill her instantly, and then boom, new protagonist, if they really wanted to.
But you would get mad that they killed Daisy Ridley at that point.
I wouldn't be mad. It's progression. Depending on how they kill her, what do you call it? She could go if she goes down like badass and fucking cool, but if she goes down like oh, if she goes down off screen, I'm not having that. But if she goes down taking down like I don't know a Sith or two, fine.
Okay, let's say this. Let's say if you'd be satisfied with this, okay, and then we could possibly move on, because I think we kind of get the point of where we stand when it comes down to the sequel trilogy. If we get another trilogy that doesn't erase this sequel trilogy, okay, let's just say that right now, it doesn't erase it,
Okay.
but you don't see Rey Skywalker. She's hardly ever mentioned, and the most thing that you probably see is probably a statue of her saying that she defeated Kylo Ren and the whatever, what is it? Not the Resistance, it's the
First Order.
The First Order. That she destroyed the First Order and now they live in harmony. And the most that you get is like a statue. But you never see her as a Force ghost. They never really mention her again. Like they have to put her in there to address the sequel trilogy, and that's it.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
It acknowledges it. It acknowledges her existence. Whoever makes that story at least understands that they gotta acknowledge it, acknowledges it, and then continues on. If the story isn't focusing completely on Rey, that's fine.
Okay.
You still gotta address what happened.
So
That's
you're
the
good
point.
with
Yeah.
just all right. She's a memory. She lived on.
Yes, the story does not actively involve her.
Now,
That's
now would it be pissed off if on the thing they're like Palpatine's daughter got him?
What
Like
do you mean?
they're like
What?
the story says that Palpatine's daughter, Rey Palpatine herself, destroyed her father, and she became this warlord. And it says Rey Palpatine on the mural.
And I mean, that's a disservice. I would say that's a disservice right there.
But would you still take it though?
No, it's a disservice.
Oh,
If it was to say, it has to say Ray Skywalker or it has to say Ray Jedi Master, something like that.
okay. So we could just cut off the whole last name, and you'd be all right with it still. Okay,
Right.
that's a good middle ground to please all the fans. I think that's a good middle ground, right? We just kind of ignore it, acknowledge it, Ray Master Skywalker, and then we go about our day, right? Like, and we go on
Exactly.
to the next trilogy. Okay.
Hmm.
All right, that's a fair middle ground, and I respect that. I think we could probably meet in the middle there. But if they do erase it, I'm gonna laugh my ass off. Unfortunately, let us know what you guys think, though. Should the sequel trilogy be erased from the Star Wars timeline, or should it have a chance to breathe? Should it stay alive in just a distant memory that kind of like that memory of the one time you guys were drinking and then you blacked out and don't know what you did with that one Mexican dude for
That's
$3 in a
crazy.
burrito.
That's crazy.
Anyways, we're moving on at that point. Let us know what you guys think. Josh, Planet of the Apes is coming back again. Apparently, we're getting a new Planet of the Apes from director Matt Shackman himself, the director of the Fantastic Four. Sounds exciting, sounds amazing, but here's a catch. Apparently, this film will not be associated to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Apparently, a new script was going to be read, and this thing is blocked by a paywall. I can't get through it. Let me get to a different one. It's apparently officially happening, but except it may not be a continuation of the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes story. It's going to be an original story. What does that mean? Does that mean that we're rehashing the Planet of the Apes idea? Are we going to go back to, the best way to put it is the James Franco time, right? Where like Caesar comes up, or if not Caesar, a different monkey or whatever. Or are we already going to be years away from what possibly happened in Kingdom and go on from there? I don't know, Josh. What do we think about a potential new Kingdom of the, or at least Planet of the Apes movie happening with director Matt Shackman of all people, possibly not continuing the story though?
Listen, I like Matt Checkman. Okay, I like Fantastic Four. I think it looks great. I think it's a great movie. I'm more concerned that this movie isn't going to be tied to Kingdom or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of enjoyed the last one. I made the last one my whole personality for like a month. It was so good. I really
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed it. Ah, so the fact that it could not be a sequel sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But I do trust Matt Checkman. So will he have my money? I don't know. It just depends on how he does it. If it's already established, sure, because then you get more free range, I guess, to tell more of the story
Mm-hmm.
from an extended point of view.
With a time jump,
Unless
yeah.
they unless they do that whole like, oh, humans crash land on the planet and the monkeys run it over and they got to coexist with these new humans and all that stuff and just rehash the old ones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could do that, but that sounds kind of whack. I mean, no one will remember that kind of thing. So maybe that's the way they go. If we go the route with like rediscovering Caesar and all that stuff, you got a great trilogy, or sorry, you got a great saga at that point
With Matt
to
Reeves
go check out.
attached, by the way.
Yeah, with Matt Reeves attached, who arguably gave you the best two films. You know what I mean? So yeah, no. At that point, if you're rehashing, don't do it. If you're finding a way to make it interesting and move things forward in a different timeline, I guess that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we could go further into it, like to the point of the original Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, where it's like it's all apes driving cars and shit like that. They're basically living humanity's life, and then the indigenous is people, and they think they're on a different planet, but then it turns out they're on Earth, just over overcome by gorillas and monkeys and whatnot. Like that would be cool. One thing that I do think, unfortunately, when it comes down to this franchise, is that Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was not the strongest, especially coming off the heels of what we got with the trilogy at the ending. And I forgave it because I'm like, okay, this is the start of something new, right? Like this is the build up. By the end of the movie, I was really interested on what was going to happen next because I want to say the beginning of the movie, I was like, okay, we're kind of building up the story again. We're getting into these characters, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then towards the end, that is when the ball really got rolling. And I was like, holy shit, I can't wait to see what that, I think it was a disc and everything, and, trying to find civilization and whatnot. Like, I wanted to see where that was going to go. So it's unfortunate that we're not going to get a direct sequel to that. Hopefully down the road we might, probably not. But I have to say that this probably was the weakest one, unfortunately. And if they are going to go a different direction because of a build-up movie, I don't know. I feel like if we're going to get a trilogy, we have to like really sit down and figure out where it's going to go, because I do think that was probably one of the bad things that happened with the original trilogy, with obviously Caesar, the first one with Planet of the Apes, and then what was the second one called? I forgot. But when Matt Reeves came in, he basically revamped the franchise, I believe. Like, the first one was a completely different movie compared to what the second movie was. And then the third one was like the finale of what the second movie basically set up. So that was an amazing, like, plan ahead to basically get you to where you needed to be. And if this was going to be like the James Franco movie, then we needed a director that was going to sit down and really plan ahead and give us those last two continuations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Shackman can do it, and it's not a full on like reboot, like down the line, or rehashing Caesar again, I'm totally down. But I just don't want to have to restart from square one of like the monkeys taking over again. And you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. Because then I could watch that. I could watch that anywhere from the beginning.
It's too recent. It's too soon.
Yeah, exactly. It's too recent, and like I hope it still looks as good. I think the CGI in the fourth one was phenomenal and so
Yeah.
polished. But
What a
like,
wonderful
if
day.
exactly, if it's not anywhere on that level, you've already lost the game, unfortunately.
Yeah, I the orangutan in the river was like one of the things that a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, like it looks fucking good," and it did look really, really fucking good. So, hopefully, we can get more movies when it comes down to this franchise. This franchise is just groundbreaking, especially like it's basically doing what like Star Wars did back in the day, or like what Vampire Avatar was doing with like the CGI, but like you just need a director that can see the vision, in my opinion, right? Like, you just don't get Avatar because, you put Justin Lin there or something. No, you have to put like a visionary who can actually do the images, right? Like, there's only a few directors I think that could do it. So hopefully Matt Shackman could deliver us something amazing. But let us know what you guys think. We are getting a new Planet of the Apes movie, potentially a continuation, potentially not. Matt Shackman is directing. Let us know if you guys are excited for that. Josh, we're getting a Hocus Pocus 3. That's all I gotta say about it. Hocus Pocus 2 came out about, I believe, in 2021. It was supposed to help launch the new Disney Plus. Basically, it's supposed to draw in numbers, right? It was supposed to draw in numbers. We got a few gimmicks when it came down to like the streaming service coming up around that time. Hocus Pocus 2 was one of them. It was direct to streaming. Everybody, I believe a lot of people loved it. I watched it. It was okay. I was like, oh, you're bringing back witches that look old. That's just not, my cup of tea. But apparently we're coming back bigger, stronger, and harder than ever, because Hocus Pocus 3 is getting a theatrical release. It's not just going to be on streaming. We're actually going to be able to see this one on the big screen. Josh, are you excited for a Hocus Pocus 3?
No, I didn't even see the second one. I totally forgot the second one existed up until this point. Um, cool. I mean, good for whoever wants this.
You don't want a Hocus Pocus 3?
No, I think the first one's a classic. Why would we need two more? Well, again, one that most people probably don't even know exists because it's on Disney Plus, and the third one, most people probably didn't even know the second one existed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I'm too excited for this.
I knew
No.
it existed.
Well, yeah,
I
you
watched it.
okay? 1 out of every 10 people,
Hey,
maybe.
that's Sarah Jessica Parker you're talking about, all right? And Kathy Najimy and Bette Midler, okay?
You did not know that off the top of your
No,
head,
yeah, I
man.
did.
Come
I
on,
just totally did not look to my right a little bit to see the screen or nothing. I
that's
knew that.
crazy.
I didn't do that.
Nah,
Okay,
man, nah.
I'm not gonna lie. I knew who Sarah Jessica Parker is, but not the other two. I can tell you which one she is. She's the blonde
Oh, okay.
one.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, unfortunately, I don't have a lot to say about this one. I really don't know what to expect because I didn't
I would
see
have
the
thought
other ones.
CJ would have put you on a long time ago. That's why.
I know the first one. I don't know the second one. I
That's what I'm
don't
saying.
even
I
think
would have
she
thought she
knows
would have
the
been like,
second one
let's watch Hocus
exists.
Pocus 2 or something.
No,
I
I don't
got
think
some
so.
questions for her. We're gonna have to talk to her after this.
Oh my
But yeah,
goodness.
so Hocus Pocus 3 is happening, and I do think that the tagline "Lock up your children" is probably not a good
It's a
tagline
crazy
for
ass tagline.
for 2020, possibly 2027 film. This is where I gotta ask the question, and it's not I am excited for something like this. I gotta say, I'm not as excited because they're not young and they're obviously older, and we're gonna have to deal with all that. But we did get a new CEO. It's no longer Bob Iger. It's that Josh something, right?
Right.
And these are the movies that he's pumping out with. We've already talked about possibly a Toy Story 6 and 7. We've talked about Tango getting live action. We're getting a live action Moana at one point. I think that was still under Bob Iger's rule. Now we're getting Hocus Pocus 3 in theaters and not on streaming, which I would have thought this is probably a streaming movie. I don't know if this is going to actually make money in the theaters. I don't know. This new CEO is kind of pumping out movies in a awkward direction, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, no sequels, no. I mean, where Iger's thing was no sequels and stuff like that.
But he still put out massive sequels.
Massive sequels. But this guy seems to just be wanting classics return. Yeah, running a company is crazy because you could totally switch up on what the last guy said and just be like, "Oh, or no, or that direction doesn't work." And it's like we've turned the boat 2 different times already.
Well, yeah, because the CEO got
Uh,
to figure out which way is going to make us more money. And if that CEO at the time that's sitting there says, hey, the last CEO didn't know how to make us no money because he's a dumbass and goes a different direction, then it's like, you could either get really good results like Bob Iger or you could get really bad results like Chapek.
right.
So
I don't
it's
know.
just about turning the boat. And I mean, the boat turning towards Hocus Pocus 3? Are we serious? Kind of?
I don't know,
Sort of?
dude. I don't know. I don't know what he's smoking.
I'm just saying, Hocus Pocus 3, potentially Disney removing the Star Wars trilogy. Are we back?
No,
I feel like we might be back.
I don't think so.
I feel like the last time we had a Hocus Pocus movie, we had The Mandalorian right next to it. I feel like we might be back.
Nah, I don't even know if that's accurate. You're just making shit up.
2 come out.
Dude,
2022. That's when The Mandalorian dropped, right?
Mandalorian came out like 2020.
2019. And
Oh,
it came
okay.
out around season 2. And we got to arguably say season 2 is probably the best season of The Mandalorian. We might be back. We might be back.
I don't know. I really I don't think so. I don't know.
And yes. For those listening, yes, my correlation is that Hocus Pocus 2 came out when Mandalorian season 2 came out, and that obviously correlates to magic.
I just think he's smoking one. Anyway,
I don't know. I gotta feel like it kind of works out. But let us know what you guys think. If you're excited for a Hocus Pocus 3, do you see the vision on us being back or not? Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you guys think. Moving on, Josh, DC is also apparently running around with their head cut off. I don't know. We are getting possibly Greg Motola Deathstroke and Bane movie, directed, like I said, by Greg Motola. Who is Greg Motola? Well, he did direct a couple episodes of Peacemaker for James Gunn already. Potentially is writing the script for this, but there's still no script for this as well. So the DCU might be getting a Deathstroke and Bane movie, potentially. But, there's always the matter of the merger and what possibly could happen to James Gunn and what could possibly happen in the future. So take that into consideration. Josh, what do you think about a Deathstroke and Bane movie?
I think when this was, I don't know why you sound like Edna mode right there, but
Yeah.
I think the concept of this movie is so dumb. I think this is like another fucking they're really trying their best to go down the Sony villain pipeline. This is crazy. How are we gonna get a Deathstroke and a Bane movie with no Batman? I have no doubt a Deathstroke in live action could be great. I have no doubt. I have no doubt a Bane movie could be great. Fucking, as long as he's actually juicing and we see him, grow into a Titan that he's supposed to be, shit like that. Do I feel like we're gonna get that? Probably not. Probably not. I don't think so.
Probably not.
What are they gonna do? What are they gonna make Deathstroke the good guy? Come on now. Come on now. Don't make me side with the pedophile. Come on now.
What if they're both just trying to, team up to stop Batman?
Nah, I don't think that's gonna happen. They don't even know who Batman is yet, which is kind of ridiculous to be this far in.
There's a guy dressed like a bat beating people up. Who?
Who the fuck are you talking about, man?
Yeah, this one kind of threw me for a curveball, but like I said, this was, the first thing that popped in my head was, remember when Walter Hamada was leaving and, the Wonder Twins were kind of coming up and, all these other movies that were kind of being thrown at the wall but not completely sticking. I kind of feel like this is another one. Could this possibly have been in the roster? Possibly. Maybe, yeah. Like yeah, Deathstroke and Bane movie, yes, and now we're finally figuring it out, but that doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's just more like this seems like a movie that was probably discussed. Maybe it could be done and put into fruition, but kind of like The Authority, I don't see where this could honestly fit in the Superman saga.
Yeah, no, I don't know either. I don't know what the fuck they're smoking over there.
Like I said, it's just more of a placeholder in my opinion. I don't think that this is going to actually happen. I know a lot of people kind of ran with it and took it and was like, oh yeah, we're getting a Deathstroke and Bane movie. No, possibly a placeholder. Maybe could have been the Batman movie and they're just trying to figure out which is going to be the villain for that film. But either which way, I don't see a Deathstroke and Bane movie happening just because they're like, hey, we're going to make it happen. I mean, if Clayface does good, do we see it possibly happening?
Maybe. But I could see something like that happening, yeah.
But that's assuming
It just depends. Just depends.
Mm.
Gambling on a Clayface movie sounds ridiculous. I can't. I would never would have put my chips in that. I'd put my chips in a Batman movie. I'd put my chips in a Wonder Woman movie. I would do anything that I said prior and put my chips in that bitch. I would not be gambling on a movie like this. I don't know what James Gunn is cooking up.
I think this, like I said, this is probably something for like later on the road if it would have happened.
I don't
But
I don't know
it
what he could be cooking up.
Unfortunate. I don't see it happening. But if it does happen, that'd be cool. What kind of story they can produce out of this? I'm not 100% sure.
I have no idea.
Let us know what you guys think though. Potential Deathstroke and Bane movie. This is an interesting one. I don't know where it could go. Don't know where you could take it. And Deathstroke's not a Batman villain apparently. Let us know what you guys think though. Moving on, Josh. We got trailers. Evil Dead. We got the final trailer for the Odyssey, and we got the Minions trailer. All of them full-length trailers. Now that we've already gave it some time, we can actually give our full opinions. Now, I've been hearing a lot of stuff from the Odyssey trailer, so I'm kind of putting that one in the middle. Elliot Page is apparently going to be in this one too, and a lot of people are hating that fact apparently. So, Evil Dead Burn's going to go up first. We saw a teaser for it. Didn't really get a full hint for it. This is the Red Band trailer. Hopefully we get a little bit more than what we got in the teaser, because I was not thoroughly impressed, but then again, it is a teaser, so we'll have to wait and see. But Josh, are you expecting something new out of this one?
Yeah, I'm hoping it's better than the teaser.
I'm hoping we can see a little bit more. I feel like the teaser
Right.
was lit kind of weird, so let's just jump into it.
Alice? What's wrong? What happened?
We found you.
William, my sweet boy. I would give anything for us to be together again.
Our grandfather believed the devil would return if anyone read from the Book of the Dead.
Calm down. The whole family can be reunited. Cheers to your perfect family.
Better trailer. I like this one. This one kind of draws me in a little bit more. I don't know. Josh, what are you thinking?
I liked it. I like it.
Camera work was crazy. I really like the camera
That
work.
was fucking. That one got me. I'm not gonna lie. It has me. I got it. We got it. We're good.
Locked in. This one,
Yeah.
okay. Now the last one, I was like, oh my gosh, like when are we gonna get back to that 2013 one? This one might be doing it. This one might be doing it for me. I don't know. Are you ready, Josh, for potentially another Evil Dead that will make you just wince at the screen every single time?
Yeah.
Like that's the Evil Dead I was looking for with the last one, and I didn't get that one. 2013's like I'm gonna always praise it, but that one's the one that really got me to like, you know what I mean? And not last year's, but 2023's, it was okay. It did what it needed to do, but it wasn't hitting that mark. I feel like this one might be hitting that mark.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, that should look good.
We need that today. Holy shit, that shit looked pretty insane. I can't wait. Let us know what you guys think. Check out the Evil Dead Burn trailer out right now. Apparently, we're gonna also get another one in 2027 or 2028 or something like that. So that's pretty cool. I think that one's gonna be called Afterlife or something like that. We'll have to wait for trailers, and obviously, but we'll get around to that one. Moving on, the Odyssey trailer, Josh. Like I said, this one's the one that kind of ruffled up a few feathers. A lot of people are like, Elliot Page might be in this thing. Blah blah blah. I'm not 100% sure. I know a lot of people are doing comparisons because Troy is kind of like another movie that emulates what the Odyssey is trying to do. And Brad Pitt was in that one, and he basically played the character that Elliot Page is supposed to be playing in this one. So a lot of people are having some weird issues with that one, but let's check out the trailer and see if it's still worth the watch, I guess.
Tell me what you remember.
A wife? A son.
And then what?
We won the war. Help me go home.
This is a household waiting for master. I want you to choose me.
Ithaca's king is coming back.
No, he's not.
What would he do if he came back here and find all these suitors in his house?
You're pining for a daddy you didn't even know, like some sniveling bastard.
Who's looking after your wife and son?
Do you see?
My dad is coming home.
Bringing vengeance.
Bringing it all.
I need everyone in this party dead.
I can still save them.
You're a man who needs to control his fate. But you cannot control this.
That world is gone.
No one could stand between me and home. Not even the gods.
Keep us free!
I think it's asleep.
Oh,
That's really cool. I mean, I thought because Elliot Page was like the main topic on Twitter, I thought she was gonna be in it for more than 1 second of the fucking trailer. You guys need to like get a grip. Get a grip. You can't even tell if she's good or not off one line, my man. One line, and he is. I couldn't believe that. That's crazy. I thought we were gonna see more.
it's because in Troy, what is Troy about?
It's about
it's
the
about
whole
the Trojan
lead up
War.
to the Trojan horse.
Yeah. So it's the prequel to the Odyssey, basically a trip home and how they got to get inside and stuff. So yeah, he's supposed to be playing like a warrior and stuff, but you're not getting that. That's not the story they're telling.
They're telling the aftermath.
That's after the war.
Mhm.
Technically, he might be dead. He could be a ghost for all we know, haunting Odysseus.
Yeah, that doesn't
In
mean that
this
we're gonna
story
see
that
like
they're trying to
the
retell.
fighting or anything. And either which way, if
Right.
we are, I mean, we don't like I said, we don't even see the action or anything. It's just a line saying that you know
Right.
where your family
You get
is, and that was it.
Exactly. You get a fucking quarter of it. People are so
That
people are
was
so
the
dumb.
quickest jump on I've ever seen, and I was like monitoring this because I was like, okay, if this is actually crazy, like that she's not delivering lines like she's supposed to, or he's not delivering lines like he's supposed to, whatever, blah blah blah. Fine. It was a line. It was 2 seconds in the trailer, not even. It was like one, and then it moved on. I don't understand why people get mad about that. This trailer looks good though. I'm for it.
I mean,
Dang, he doesn't
trailer
like
looks
it.
good.
He's not vibing.
The movie looks good. It's just I'm afraid of what they're telling and what they're doing because I didn't see any gods in this one. I didn't see even Zendaya, who's supposed to be like Athena, and that's kind of like she's kind of like on his shoulder for
Well, that's why this
a
movie
good
is
chunk of the
not supposed
story.
to. I mean, the gods are there, but they're not supposed to be prominent in this story. Like
if
it's
they're
not
the
supposed
ones
to be like Clash of the Titans where like Zeus comes down and shit like that.
well, no, I mean, no, I mean he's kind of the one that is he not the one that also takes away his like some of his men?
No, that's the God of
Poseidon.
War. That's Athena.
No, is that not Zeus?
From what I know from the Odyssey, Zeus doesn't get involved in this story.
No.
No.
I don't know. Every iteration is different, I guess. But I don't know. I like the way the movie is. I'm just gonna have to assume it's its own interpretation, and people are just gonna have to learn that this is gonna be for film, and it's not gonna translate to the book or books and the iterations that we have. This is gonna be another retelling.
Obviously, I feel like Christopher Nolan's going to try to get as close as possible. But exactly that. I mean, he's going to get as close, but it's not going to be one for one. And, I mean, yeah, we saw what happened with Troy, but this is a different cast, this is different characters. I mean, will the battle even play out the same as Troy? Probably not. It's probably going to be different. So, well, for people to make that comparison for a movie that was made back in 2004, and this movie's coming out in 2026, I don't know. The only thing I can say is Twitter needs to calm down, and the Odyssey trailer looks great, in my opinion. I will watch it. I'm going to watch it. So.
Okay.
Let us know what you guys think. Check out the trailers out right now. Moving on, last trailer of the day. The Minions and Monsters. We're going to watch this one because we saw the first trailer, and it didn't give us a lot. And I'm excited for Minions movies. I have kids, and kids love Minions. So I'm going to watch this for my kids, but a little for me, too. For my kids.
Okay.
For me, too.
Okay, let's go.
In Hollywood, the new stars of the silver screen changed the face of the motion picture industry forever. The Minions are back with a touch of mystery.
Baby. Oh, Humphrey. Piñata. Carbonara. Lasagna.
Now in Minion Vision.
Toot toot.
James, you have a real gift for filmmaking.
Eureka! Gloria, alleluia! Maca un movie dei Minions con monsters! Yaki, unigiri, dai Okay. I'm Gary Orcam Oliver Magma Ichabod the Deceiver. But my friends just call me Goomby for short. I know the perfect monster for your movie. Let's go. Whoopsie. Behold! The all-powerful Irene! She is gonna destroy everything on the planet!
James, you're going to do great things.
I was so confused about the music. I feel like they were doing Bad Bunny, but then there was like a little bit of like Eminem in there.
Eminem. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what it was throwing me off a little bit. I was like,
it threw me off too. I was watching the trailer, but I feel like the music was thoroughly throwing me off for this trailer.
Right.
Holy shit.
Right. That was fucking weird. That was the first time I've ever had that happen.
Too, because I was like, I thought I heard Bad Bunny, and then it was like Eminem. and then
Yeah.
Bad Bunny again, and I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? It was weird.
It was fucking abracadabra and fucking no, that was crazy. I don't know what that was. Pretty cool though. I can't be mad. That was pretty cool stuff.
I ain't gonna cap. It looked good. It looked kind of funny, but I was a little confused by the music. I was a little
Right.
distracted. But I mean,
very, very confusing for sure.
you're like, hey, you shouldn't be listening to the trailer music. Yes, you should. I think that like obviously sets the tone, and you're gonna baffle me like that with Bad Bunny and partial Eminem lyrics. It's kind of weird.
You're gonna have serious stuff going on screen, and then fucking Baby Shark in the back. No,
Yeah,
what
like
are you
I'm trying
dumb?
to figure out like what's happening back there. It's like so the music mixer was like, no, do this one. No, do this one, and it was like, this is the trailer we got.
Right.
I'm down for it. Another solid trailer. I think that we should totally watch this one. I don't know if you're gonna watch it in theaters, but this one will be probably a theater movie for me and the boys for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll probably catch it on Peacock or something.
I think you said you haven't like caught up on the Minions movies, right? I think it's time.
No, yeah, probably.
I think it's time. It's time. You go Minions. Minions Rise of Gru is after the Minions movie. Yeah, I'll give you the list. We'll probably have to do something like that.
That's crazy. Give me the Minions watch list.
Yeah, so we could probably we'll have to rank the Minions movies. We're gonna have to do it now that there's actually like 6 of them now. Like 6 Minions movies. So we're gonna have to do it. Let us know what you guys think though. Check out the trailer. Minions and Monsters out on YouTube right now. Let us know what you guys think of the trailer. With that being said though, that's gonna be our last topic for this episode. Any topics we should be talking about? Movies you want us to review? TV shows you want to hear your voice on one of these episodes? Josh, let them know where they can do all that.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at FilmBros Podcast. Post on episodes are up. Can hit us there for news and movies wants to cover. Buzzsprout link to the social. Buzzsprout link to the social I just gave you. It's like a Patreon. You subscribe. You help the show grow. Really appreciate it. Listen to us anywhere you get your podcast at FilmBros Podcast, Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts. Again, wherever you get your podcast. Be part of the conversation. Twitch at FilmBros Podcast. And when it's all said and done, subscribe to YouTube at FilmBros Podcast.
And with that being said, we'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Talk to you guys later.